Hello and welcome back, everybody, to round 2 coverage of the 2020 Down East Players Cup presented by Basket Bashers. I'm Brian Earhart, joined here by Nathan Queen, walking us through the course today. What's up, Nathan?
Doing well, man. We are here in Farmville, North Carolina this time, moving to a little bit more of the country. Brand new course here, been in the ground less than a year, so definitely the first time it's been on footage. Excited to see how it plays.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you come to North Carolina, you're going to see the woods. You're going to see a lot of tight technical lines. Always fun to get to watch this kind of local coverage from any of the Carolinas, really.
Yeah, it's definitely what I grew up on, is tight wooded golf. So for this round, we've got Ricky Wysocki leading the field with a 12 down, Paul Ulibarri 10 down, along with Dan Hastings, and then myself with a 9 down.
And as you can see, I mean, after that first round, Dan Hastings' round of 10 under that we got to watch, solid round. Ricky Wysocki's beaten him by 2 strokes, so we will see how it plays out today. Hole number 1, Nathan, what do we have here?
We've got 565 feet, OB all down the right side, wood line on the left that you don't want to get into, and we're going to be throwing into a pretty dead headwind as well. Tee shot, once you execute the tee shot here, the up shot isn't too difficult. There's not a whole lot to deal with. Just got to keep it in bounds and out of the woods.
Ricky going with kind of a power hyzer line. And that's a big shot.
Yeah, that's further than you're going to see most people go on the hole, of course, because, you know, Rick smashes.
Yuli kind of down-tempoing on that new, kind of a slower run-up, just wanting to put it in bounds. That's a fine spot.
Yeah, that's a good spot there. There's a little bit of a corner. He'll have to choose between an inside and an outside line, but it's about where you want to be. Dan getting a little bit of an air bounce there, and that keeps him out of bounds.
Oh, my gosh. That was so close.
Yeah, that was a good shot. He just got some of that headwind bounce, and it kept him out of bounds. I'm going with a TL3 here, trusting that headwind to turn it back over, and I was pretty happy with that one.
That is some serious trust in the equipment, hanging it out of bounds on the first hole.
So Dan trying to get up and down for his par now. He's got a pretty difficult shot further back than you want to be. Hyzers it over the top, and he's up inside the circle.
Like you said, there's that inside line Yuli took the zone out for, puts it to about 20. Not too bad.
I have to pull out a little bit of a patent pending here.
What, no righty sidearm?
No, I'll stick with the flex stargater here.
Solid shot. Should be 10, 15 feet.
And Ricky trying to make his eagle. More of a layup. But that's all you need on this hole. 3's not losing any strokes to anybody.
Sweet putt to save par for Dan. Again, kind of a rough play off the tee. Kind of got, like you said, kind of a weird wind bounce. Kept him just out of bounds. Grid up and down from Dan.
We got Yuli here, probably about 23 feet. Shouldn't have too much issue with it. Dead center, and these are actually the disc golf park baskets. This is the one of the, I don't know if it's the first one in North Carolina or not, but the course is the disc golf park setup with the tee signs, tee pads, and baskets.
Huge shout out to Disc Golf Park for putting together a lot of really professional graphics, making disc golf courses really look like they belong wherever they're installed. Tee signs, a lot of times they have like a big course walkthrough sign at the beginning of the course as well. So
yeah, good stuff. So after hole 1, you kind of walk back to where you started. Hole 2, 395 feet. You've got the OB pond and then an OB creek there that we just passed. It's you kind of want to push it out straight and then let it come back to the right. There's a way you can sneak through over top of that creek, but it does bring those trees into play. This looks really good from Ricky.
wow, park job. Hits the hard pan dirt, gets a nice little skip.
So Yuli, this is pulled off inside a little bit. That's too far right. And he does fall down into that OB creek over there. I'm going with a Star Wraith here. I pull it out just a little bit too far to the left. and get kicked a little further left. I still have a putt from there, but it is a little bit obstructed.
Dan definitely has the distance on the sidearm for this shot. Little slip job, but that actually might flex out to a decent place.
Yeah, it looks like it's in the line. And,
oh, yeah.
He'll be just outside the circle, I believe, right there. So even with the slip, he still almost had enough power to make it there. So that's Uli pitching up to get a bogey now after that OB stroke off the tee. I'm straddled out pretty far to the right here. Get it up good
close
height.
run.
And I didn't even know it was possible to miss left, but I pulled it off somehow.
Ooh, weak side. Nice tempo to catch that on that weak side for Dan. Good putt.
Yeah, Dan showing why he's up here, saving the par on the first hole, and then canning an outside the circle putt on hole 2.
Yeah, kind of continuing his great putting performance from round 1 as well.
Yeah, and Ricky with just a little tap in for his birdie right there, starting off 2 for 2.
Tapping in the par. You do hear that wind kind of blowing in the background, and with any course that has a lot of trees and woods, it's really challenging when the wind starts to pick up and seep through.
Yeah, so once you get out here, now we're more in the open, and that wind really does come into play. 376-foot par 3. That first tree line you saw is OB if you land in the little ditch that's there, so you do have to make it past that. All this tall grass around is OB as well. So it's a pretty touchy shot here. I think we kind of have a left to right wind, and you've got to throw pretty hard to get all the way to the basket at 380 feet and still hit that gap in between the trees.
Dan's just burning over a little bit too far to the left. Like you said, there is a bit of a crosswind out here. Ricky kind of fighting against it with his backhand.
I'm going with that same star wraith I threw on the last hole and just kind of pulled it. I didn't throw it how I wanted to, and I do end up OB in that tall grass over there. Strange side note, the way that it's worded in the caddy book, if we land in the short grass of another fairway, we are still in bounds.
Really?
Yes.
All right, well, learn something new every day.
So we'll see if that comes into play at all during the round, but it is just the tall grass.
Dan pitches up for the par after Uli throwing a great drive. And you will unfortunately have to settle for a bogey after going slightly out of bounds. Wow. Just sneaks it over the top of the tray.
And that's about what you want to do on these disc golf park baskets. The basket's a little shallower, so you do have to hit a little more center if you're going to hit the chains higher.
Yeah, not too many tournaments we've played on these types of baskets. And I know, are the disc golf park baskets, are they a bit more of a budget-friendly basket that they're making? Or I'm not quite sure. They're kind of a newer basket to the market, and I know the disc golf park package is kind of an all-inclusive thing.
Yeah, this is the first time I had played on them as well. And the chain structure seems very similar to the 28s. It's just kind of a shallower basket.
I see. So moving into hole number 4, par 4, 512 feet. What do you think here?
512 feet. You pretty much just want to throw it straight. It kind of plays if you've got enough distance for a lefty backhand to land about where these people are and flare into the woods here. So you've got to throw about 380 straight, and then you have a pretty clean look at the basket with really only one tree in the way. It is slightly sloped downhill behind the basket, so if you land your upshot coming in too fast, you could slide down there.
And that looks like a bit of a misfire from Ricky. That needs to sit down. And it did. Wow. He is not an amazing spot, but still pretty routine up and down, it looks like.
Yeah, he's throwing a rock there, so it slowed up enough to not go long OB, and he should have a pretty straight look. He's just a little further away. Mm-hmm. Yuli's going to be pinched off there. He's a little short of the gap that you want to get to.
Dan, kind of a similar mistake to Uli. They're both going to be a bit pinched off.
He might be in slightly better position when he faded back out left.
What are you throwing here?
I believe that is my Champion Glow Boss. And I pulled it out a little left, but I snuck past those trees with just a little touch and got to a good spot up there.
Ricky's pig is going to land him right under the basket again from the knee.
That'll put him 4 for 4.
And Yuli having to go cut roller. Almost had it on the right line.
Does it pretty well. He still gives himself a putt.
Yeah.
It's just a longer one.
Was that some sort of sidearm thumber that he just threw?
I believe it was a thumber. Him and Schwebby are good friends, so he's been working with Schwebby on that thumber some.
It's a great tech shot to have.
Just a little ABR X3 for me getting in there onto the green.
Yuli will concede the par. And here's Dan for birdie.
See if he can keep that hot puttin' alive.
Wow, the Banger GT goes in yet again. He has been money from Circle 2 all tournament.
Yeah, I believe that's 3 for 3 this round so far.
That's smooth putting for Dan. And he is going to move forward after a nice birdie there. Lefty getting the birdie on the lefty hole.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that whoever you are, you want to get. Yuli's
Yeah.
not going to be happy that he missed that one. Dan's happy that he saved it after the subpar drive. And moving.
Hole number 5, 325-foot par 3. What do we have here, Nathan?
Yeah, I'd say this is probably one of the better par 3s on the course. You've got a pretty tight gap to hit here off the tee and a slight right to left movement to get to the basket. You will have, I believe it's a right to left crosswind kind of coming across this open field. You have, if you don't hit the gap, you have a chance to kick OB early. And then you can't let it fade too much once you get up here either. Ricky does it pretty well. He's about 20, 25 feet right there. Great shot out of the gap.
Yeah, slightly uphill too, it looks like, off the tee.
Yeah, it goes a little up out of the woods. Dan early releases there. It looks like he stayed in bounds. I'm going with a Star Leopard here, and I've done that about how I want to.
That's such a clean line.
Thank you.
Nice shot. It's about as perfect of a turnover as you could throw there.
Yeah, that one felt good for sure. Yuli with a bit of an early release too, sneaks through the trees. We couldn't tell what was going on up here. We didn't know he was in bounds, and he couldn't believe that he was once we got up there.
Dan's going to chip a zone up there. He'll tap in a 3. And here's Yuli after, I guess, luckily staying in bounds.
Yeah, so right before this putt,
Oh, my God.
right before this putt, he said, "This is going to be the stupidest birdie ever."
You see the smile on his face. He's going spin putt here. Just pure Annie spin putt with a focus.
So here you go, folks. A rewind of the stupidest birdie ever.
You see Ricky out there laughing at him. Two of them have such a storied history playing this game.
Yeah, way to get the 2 out of a misrelease there. Ricky here going for more of the standard 2, but pulls it just a bit right. That's what I was talking about with the shallow cages. He hit just a bit right, and it just kept on going.
Ricky getting big putted by Paul after all the laughter. Ricky finally has his first blemish of the round.
Yeah, still 4 for 5. Not a bad start.
Not terrible whatsoever. And after a picture-perfect turnover with that leopard, you're going to take a pretty simple birdie.
Yeah, anytime you see me just tapping in on 1 foot, I'm usually pretty happy about it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Especially when the wind's picked up and you're out in the open. Never want to have to hit circle's edge putts all around.
Dan tapping into his par after staying short of the OB off the drive. Moving on to hole 6, probably the hardest par 3 on the course. I play for a 4 or a long putt at it. 372 feet. You can you get to this corner here and you want it takes a hard left, but it's really hard to do that shape. It's possible to go high over top, but it's pretty windy today. I'm going with a really beat-in Star Mako 3 here. And it was a little inside of what I wanted, but that's the exact spot that I'm trying to get to. I have a long 70, 80-foot look at it, and that's about the best I'm going to do.
Uli hates laying up and is going to be going with either a nuke or a force. Almost gets around that corner.
Yeah, if that could have caught a skip, it may have got around the corner and had a look at it.
Oh, boy. Ricky going country boy hyzer. And we do not know where that landed, but it actually didn't look too bad.
It looked good, but it actually did end up pretty short, though I think the wind just played too much with it, and it did keep it pretty short.
Yeah, this funneling low ceiling to the fairway is just obviously presenting some challenges to the players.
And Dan, after burning it into the ground a little to the left, he's going to try to manufacture a 3 out of this somehow, and ends up pretty much just pitching around the corner. Just a bit of a longer way around.
And here's Yuli's get-out-of-jail-free card, he calls it. An absolutely mangled Pro D Avenger SS that is one of the funniest discs I get to see people throw on tour.
And Ricky having to go with the same forehand roller there. He gets around into the circle.
Dan's pitching up, and he will be taking a 4 here, it looks like.
It's one of those kind of half runs, you know. Once it gets there, you're like, oh, man, I should have just laid that up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the percentages of the make. Yuli misses the spin putt from circle 2.
And a good 3 save there from Ricky.
Yeah, as you can see, you know, this hole is kind of playing like a par 4. Getting a 3 is not too bad.
Yeah, Ricky with the 3. The other 2 guys already laying there for a 4. And I've got a chance to get my 3 here.
Solid putt, moving to 2 under par. Staying at 2 under par, I should say.
Yeah, this is back here in the woods. We got lucky and it kind of washed them away. The wind came through and blew some of the mosquitoes away. But at one point during my practice round, when you're back here in the woods, there's no way any of us would have been standing still that long.
Yeah. Classic North Carolina golf. Hole number 7, par 3, 246 feet, elevated green. Beautiful construction here on this green.
Yeah, brand new. They put that in just for the just before the tournament, I believe. It wasn't there during my practice rounds, but my practice rounds were a couple weeks beforehand. So I kind of get over to the left on that one. I think you could hear me there. I didn't really like it a whole lot. I still have a putt, but it's pretty scary. Headwind putt going up that hill.
Ricky trying to throw a bit of a stall hyzer up to the basket, and he's going to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, that's a great shot. You see this low ceiling branch here, it makes it a lot harder to do that stall shot and still get up over the wall, so he plays that very well, as does Yuli. With that higher speed, though, he gets a little bit more of a rollaway.
Dan clubbing down to a 1-step release. That's a little low. I think he hit the wall on that one.
Yeah, just catches the front of the wall. I'm here probably 40 feet or so uphill. Pretty scary putt into the headwind.
Oh, almost gets it.
Yeah, just missed right side. I was happy to have the height on that one. That's a tough one to commit to.
Oh boy, and you mentioned headwind,
And there it was.
and now Dan's got about a 30-footer uphill. Wow, that wind is totally affecting the disc. That's a 3-putt for Dan.
Yeah, tough stuff there after seeing him putt so well so far this tournament. Just that little bit of uphill in the wind, it brings that what-if factor into play.
Exactly. You want to make sure that if you are driving with an overstable disc that you can get close to the basket. Use that overstability to make your putt a little bit easier.
And Yuli and Ricky able to get their birdies there.
Ricky kind of starting to pull away a bit. He has a 5-stroke lead on Yuli now. 17 under par. And we move on to hole number 8.
Yeah, hole 8, 317 feet. Pretty good straight and then slight finish to the right. You can throw straight and still have a putt at the basket. Just kind of open until you get into the woods, and you got to make sure you hit the gap that's there. There's still a higher ceiling, so Ricky's kind of getting up in that ceiling, but he sneaks on through it.
Yeah.
Gets up there to have a putt. When it's going right, it's going right.
Yeah, absolutely. And Yuli kind of slamming on a Raptor here. It's actually a pretty solid line. Yeah, that is a park job from Yuli. Great flex shot.
And this is my FD3 here, pretty beat in.
Another great line.
Yeah, threw it on the right line. I pulled it just
Nice
a bit
shot.
left, but I missed just barely tickled the left side and got up there for pretty much a tap in.
Little low from Dan. That's got to start fading. He might have an obstructed putt there. Still might be just outside circle 1.
Yeah, he was coming in a little hot. There's a little fence or some type of obstruction there that kept him where he might have a look. And that's another pretty strange miss from Ricky there.
Yeah, it's one of those misses that's pretty common for Ricky. When he is missing putts, a lot of times it's low. He hits cage when he starts getting a little bit unconfident in his putt. And Dan misses another one as well. Yuli's cashing in on the birdie opportunity and takes another stroke on Ricky, starting to close the gap a bit.
Yeah, and I'll be here to tap in the birdie as well, trying to keep up with Yuli and pulling away from Dan a little bit with his last couple holes.
Yeah. It's always nice when you have a couple of long misses on your hole, being able to just tap in the birdie and keep the momentum going without having to work too hard for it.
Yeah, so Ricky's still comfortable out front even after a couple missed putts.
And we're going to move into the last hole of the front 9 here.
Yeah, we've got another par 4, 530 feet. It's a pretty pinched off angle off to the tee where you want to go right pretty hard. It's pretty easy to push too straight into that long grass that plays OB. And then these trees right before the green are lined up pretty well where you have to pick to either go around the last tree where you could push long or try to hit the gap inside and bring the trees more into play on the upshot.
Yeah, there's definitely appears to be some strategy on this hole. How much do you really want to bite off the tee? As you see, Yuli just throwing a pure hyzer forehand there.
Yeah, and I'm going with a Quasar here. Even though it's a 13 speed, I'm not trying to bite off a whole lot. I just want that skip right there to stay away from the long OB. And this is a little wider than you want. You see he's pushing that OB, but he does stay safe still, and he's in a great spot.
This is a forehand that Dan throws really well. Kind of the pure hyzer out of the hand forehand. Doesn't go as long as I thought it was looking at it coming out of his hand, but still good positioning.
So it looks like he's trying to go inside these trees, and he does catch him and leaves it a little bit too short.
Yuli going with that same Raptor again.
And he's looking to push around all of the trees before he fades and does get a bit long into the stuff back there. He's inside the circle, but he does have a pretty hairy putt back there.
Ricky also saws his off a little bit. He's going to be about 45 from the basket.
Yeah, sneaks through, doesn't hit those trees, so that gives him a clean look.
Are you looking to throw a skip shot here?
Yeah, I'm going with the same FD3, trying to go just inside the last tree to skip it up into the basket.
Great shot. Picture perfect play in that second shot.
I almost got it to skip in there. That would have been pretty sweet.
That'd been a nice little eagle to take another stroke on Dan. Catch up to Uli a little bit. Just right from Dan, decent speed.
Yeah, you could see he didn't like that, but he had a pretty tough look trying to hit through the trees. Ricky corrects and hits dead center on that one.
That'll move him to 6 under par in the round. Solid start. And a couple mistakes that we did not expect out of him either.
Yeah, 6 through 9 with 2 missed putts, so he's driving on fire right now.
Uli bushwhacking right here.
Yeah, he's working hard trying to get this birdie in there. And he does it.
Nice putt from Uli. It's nice to be able to have what he has, kind of that lofty spin putt, and he also has a more direct one that he's been working on as well. It's a nice little get from the bushes.
Yeah, so that puts him 4 down through the front 9 with a couple bogeys. So he's getting a lot of birdies as well, just needs to minimize the mistakes to try to hang there with Ricky.
And Dan with a little bit of a struggle on that front 9. He's going to stay at even par. But as long as that putt stays with him, I think he'll be in a decent position on the back 9.
I'll tap my birdie in to go 4 down with 1 bogey. Not the greatest start, but I'm hanging in there.
Absolutely. And there you have it. There's the front 9. As you can see, Ricky and Paul are starting to pull away from the field a bit. You are chasing, and you do have an opportunity to sneak up there as well. We will catch you on the back 9. Again, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to Gatekeeper Media on YouTube. And Nathan, we'll see you on the back 9.
We'll see you guys out there.